Now the entire tour was looking at her, including the tour guide. This is, Stephanie said, racking her brains for a large found in this place. This is Sammy Skeleton, the world's worst detective. Never heard of him, the boy said, giving Scotty his arm and broke. He shrugged and lost interest, and Stephanie watched the tour carry on. When they were out of sight, Scotty whistled with his head to her. World's worst detective? Yeah, he shrugged and hid a grin. And Scotty could not see and went back to running his hand along the wall. He found what he was looking for and pressed inwards. A section on the wall slid open to reveal a hidden passage. Wow, Stephanie said, the sanctuary is here. I used to come here when I was little. Never knowing that beneath your feet was a world of magic and wonder? Exactly. He tilted his head slightly. Better get used to that feeling. She followed them in and the wall sealed shut behind them. The stairway downwards was lit by torches that flickered in the brackets, but the closer they got to wherever it was, they were going, the brighter what they were going, the brighter it became. They emerged into the gleaming foyer of the sanctuary. It would have reminded Stephanie of the lobby to a high-tech company building, all marble and varnished wood paneling. Here, where it would not for the lack of windows, two men stood guard against the firewall, hands clasped behind them, dressed entirely in grey with long coats and some sort of helmet with a visor that covered their pale faces. They each had a scythe, a wicked-looking blade on the one hand, and a half-meter staff strapped to their back. A slight man in a suit came out to greet them. Detective, he said, you are early. The council is not ready to convene. I can show you to the waiting area if you wish. Actually, I might take the opportunity to show us guests around if that's alright. The man blinked. I'm afraid access is strictly limited as well, you know. I was just going to show my friend the repository, so he said the book is back. I see. Well, as an administrator, the secretary will have to accompany you. Naturally, wouldn't have any other way. The administrator bowed and spun on his heel and led them down an adjoining corridor. They passed more people in grey uniforms as they walked. Stephanie was getting used to dealing with people with no eyes and no expressions. But there was something about them that none of the category, though he was still fundamentally human. And yet these people who merely wore helmets to hide their faces seemed to her much more sinister. Who are they? Stephanie whispered as they walked. Leave us, Scotty replied in a low voice. Security guard of forces around resorted to one dangerous individual. Be glad they're on our side. She is the best not to look at them. As they passed, where are we going? She asked, finally changed her subject. I'm taking you to see the book of names, Scotty said. Some say it was created by the ancients, but the truth is no one knows who really made it or how it was made. List the names of every person regardless of the given name, the taken name, and when and if a name is taken and true name. Every time a baby is born, a new name appears in the pages. Every time someone dies, a name fades away. Tiffany looked at them. So my true name is in that book? As is mine, as is everyone. Isn't that dangerous if someone got their hands on that? They'd be able to rule the world, she let a few months in, and I felt ridiculous even saying that. Then the magistrate glanced over his shoulder as he walked. Not even the elders opened the book. It is too powerful. It can corrupt too easily. But they can't find a way to destroy it. It can't be torn. It can't be burned. It can't be damaged by any means. We have at our disposal. If the legend is true and the book was created by the ancients, then it stands to reason that only the ancients could destroy it. The elders, for their part, had the responsibility to protect it, to keep it away from prying eyes. They reached a set of double doors. The administrator waved his hand and the heavy door swung slowly open. They walked into the repository, a large room with marble pillars, which has clearly explained how some of the rarest and most unusual magical artifacts in existence. They passed row upon row of shelves and tables on which lay items so bizarre they defied description. Then the administrator pointed out one of the strangest of these, a two-dimensional box that held wonders to say the most dated of appetites, but which only existed if approached from a wide angle in contrast to this clutter. However, was the center of the room, which was empty, save for a pedestal and on that pedestal a book. That's the book of names, Stephanie asked. Yes, it is, the administrator answered. I thought it'd be bigger. It's as big as it needs to be. No more, no less. And it's okay to leave it out in the open like that? It's not as formal as you might think. No, Tracy, the security arrangements, it cost the elders some concern. How would you be protected? God can be overcome, a locked door can be unlocked, the wall can be broken, the shield can be pierced. So what? He decided not to bother? Actually, he came up with a most ingenious defense, willpower. Sorry? The book is protected by the will of the elders, Stephanie. He wasn't sure if he was joking or not. See for yourself, the Amnesia said. Take the book. Me? You won't be harmed.